Welcome to Animania Chronicles, where we dive deep into the captivating worlds of anime, dissecting stories, unraveling characters, and sharing our passion for all things animated. Hey everyone, welcome back to our review series on the Eminence in Shadow. In part 2, we dive deeper into our protagonist's journey as he continues to hide his true power while navigating life as an NPC in another world. Stay tuned for more exciting plot twists and character developments. Alexia remembered that she enjoys her fencing style the most, but she couldn't defeat her big sister with her fencing style. She remembered planning to give up, but Shadow showed her the enormous potential of her fencing style. Suddenly, Zenin was hurt, and he wanted to know why such a strong person was hiding his true identity. He replied that he belongs to the Shadow Garden, which hunts criminals from the shadows. Meanwhile, Alexia was confused and Zenin planned to take steroids that would multiply his strength. He swallowed the pills and turned into a demon that could win a bodybuilding competition. He then said that he is one of the few who can control this power and he will destroy him with just one hit. Zenin attacked Shadow, but his attack was not strong enough to destroy Shadow. After that, Alexia sensed Zenin's enormous power, but Shadow withstood his weak attack. He was not impressed by his opponent and began to launch a counterattack. Zenin was beaten, and he realized that he had no chance against Shadow. Suddenly, he activated a spell similar to a nuclear bomb, and he created a cage with his magic power. Zenin was confused and could not believe that a person who possessed infinite magical power existed. Before Shadow ended the fight, he told him a story about a man trying to survive the impact of a nuclear bomb. He said that he managed to become the power of a nuclear bomb himself, and Zenin tried to defeat him with his last strength. Unfortunately, his attack failed and Shadow prepared his atomic spell. At that moment, the whole city began to shake and he caused a huge explosion. Shadow caused a disaster and his nuclear bomb spell destroyed everything in his area. Meanwhile, Shadow Garden was watching his show and Iris was worried about Alexia. In the end, a huge hole remained and Alexia was unharmed in the destroyed tunnel. At that moment, she held her sword and started doing sword exercises. She began to like her fencing style, which was elegant and beautiful. Suddenly, Iris appeared and she was happy that her little sister was unharmed. Alexia hugged her big sister and made up with her. In the days that followed, Alexia met Sheed one last time and began to have a crush on him. She thanked him for praising her fencing style. Before she left, Alexia asked if he would like to continue the relationship. He refused and he was punished by her. Later, all of his girls admired their master and they were already planning to find other members of the cult. Suddenly, Alpha said that a Shadow had discovered more facilities. Additionally, she mentioned that criminals tried to ruin the reputation of their organization. They suspected that the cult of Diablos planned something and they prepared countermeasures. Meanwhile, Iris was worried because there were members of the Diablo cult in the Night Order. She also viewed Shadow Garden as a threat and planned to take countermeasures. Glenn and Marco were tasked with investigating the case and finding leads to the two organizations. Later, we see a girl reading a book. She bumped into Sheed and fell to the ground. She was covered in blood and he helped her get up. In that moment, she got a crush on him because she got background character Riz. During the night, a man was chased by a mysterious person who claims to belong to the organization Shadow Garden. The next day, Sheed said he broke up with Alexia and his friends asked him if they had smooched. He replied that nothing happened and his friends planned to go to the city to buy chocolate. Later, Cherry and her father were shown an artifact that was in the possession of the cult of Diablos. Iris entrusted her with researching the artifact because she was the smartest person in the kingdom. Luther encouraged her and said that she would definitely be able to find out more about the artifact. So, she agreed to take on the task and Iris assigned the Crimson Order to protect her. Alexia wanted to help her big sister with the examinations, and she was counting on her little sister. In the afternoon, Sheed and his friends were in front of the department store. Sheed noted that the fancy architecture reminded him of his old life. Suddenly, a woman invited him to take a survey. The woman said she only needed one person, and she led Sheed into the department store. At the store, Sheed realized that the products were similar to those of his old life. He was then led to the roof of the building, where he discovered a huge house built on the roof. Suddenly, he entered the room and was greeted by Gamma. He was surprised to see Gamma and learned that Gamma was the store owner. Sheed remembered that he once told her about his old life. He also knew that Gamma was the smartest of the 7 shadows, but she had one major flaw: she was very clumsy. Afterwards, he sat on his custom-made throne and liked the feeling of being a king. He was grateful for Gamma's gift, and he rewarded his followers. At that moment, Gamma remembered the day Shadow had saved her life. Afterwards, he learned about the income the store had made. She was shocked by the huge amount of money and sweated because of his nervousness. Then Gamma reported the incident to him, saying that the Night Order thinks that Shadow Garden is murdering innocent people. She'd had a plan to catch the imposter. Before he left the building, he was introduced to Nu, who was promoted to a number. Suddenly, she remembered that he planned to buy chocolate in her store, and he secretly stole a gold coin with his shadow abilities. Later, he ran back to the dorm with his friends. He remembered Alexia trying to kill him without hesitation, but he suspected that he was on the wrong track. Suddenly, he heard the sounds of blades crossing each other. He pretended to have to go to the toilet, so he asked his friends to leave him behind so that they wouldn't get in trouble with the teachers. Then She'd said he felt pressure in his butt because he could no longer hold the chocolate in his pants. As a result, he got rid of his friends and was able to search for the enemy who was posing as a member of Shadow Garden. Shadow was surprised to find Alexia, who was fighting against the enemy. Alexia managed to defeat the guy who murdered innocent people. Suddenly, assassins appeared, and Alexia tried to defeat them. She fought back, but more assassins appeared, pretending to be Shadow Garden. Unfortunately, she was hit and suffered a serious injury. At the last moment, Shadow appeared and planned to punish the weaklings who pretended to be Shadow Garden. The assassins tried to escape, and Shadow planned to hunt them all down. Before he left, Alexia asked him a few questions, but he went off to hunt the assassins. He eliminated an enemy, and Nu showed up. She joined the hunt, and Shadow entrusted her to kill the last one. Suddenly, the assassin tried to attack her, but she slashed him down. Then she said that he would be her toy. In the meantime, the core members of the Cult of Diablo planned their next step. Then we see Alexia, who reported to her big sister that the killers were not Shadow Garden. She understood that Shadow Garden was hunting the Cult of Diablos, but she viewed both as threats to the kingdom. In the mornings that followed, other students made fun of She'd because some students saw him saying he had to go to the bathroom. His friends tried to cheer him up and asked if he still had chocolate. A short time later, Hyo confessed his love to a girl, but the girl was disgusted by his face. Suddenly, a transgender person appeared and ordered Hyo to pick up the soap. In the afternoon, Po tried his luck and thought he got infinite Riz. Meanwhile, She didn't feel like giving a girl chocolate, but he gave Cherry his gift. She got nuclear bomb Riz and surprised Cherry with his gift. In the evening, she wondered why she had been given chocolate as a gift. Her father said that it is a gift to confess his love. Suddenly, Cherry blushed and was surprised because she had no experience with love. Her father's illness then became apparent, and Cherry was worried about him. He replied that he was fine, and she was happy to have such a nice father. In the days that followed, Cherry thought about her crush. She took the chocolate and remembered her father saying that the boy who gave her chocolate was probably waiting for an answer. So she ate the chocolate, and she blushed as She'd appeared in her thoughts. A few days later, we see She'd in school, and he noticed that Nu was walking behind him. She told him that last night they captured a member of the Cult of Diablos and found out that the core was brainwashing their members. A day before, she learned that Hyo had registered him for the Bushi tournament. He didn't want to participate and punched his friends in the stomach because all they thought about was impressing girls. She didn't want to take part in the tournament, and Nu told him that the Diablos were kidnapping cult orphans and brainwashing them into becoming members. Additionally, he learned that the Shadow Garden name was being spread to lure their organization out. Then she realized that he wanted to take part in the Bushi tournament to demonstrate his role as a background character. Afterwards, she remembered her life before she was turned into a monster. She was grateful that Shadow had saved her. In the following days, the preliminary rounds of the Bushi tournament began and Claire defeated her opponent. Meanwhile, many students were betting on the fights, and She'd's friends lost almost all their money on the bets. They remembered that She would participate in the fights and wished him good luck. Then the battle of school council president Rose, the princess of the Oran Kingdom, against She began. She was ready to give a great performance to prove that he is the best ordinary background character. He practiced every day to get his performance flawless. A short time later, his fight started, and She began to attack his opponent. He waited for the perfect time and bit down on a bag of ketchup. He intentionally let Rose hit him and feigned serious injury. He showed his secret background character Bloody Tornado, so he was defeated, and he was proud to have shown a perfect performance as a background character. Suddenly, Sheik got up again because he hadn't shown all of his secret background character techniques yet. Sheik planned to use all of his 47 background techniques and attacked Rose again. At that moment, he waited for the right moment again and was defeated countless times. Rose didn't understand why he didn't want to give up. Before Rose could use her strongest technique, the referee saved Sheik so he wouldn't die. Rose Oran was declared the winner, and she was sad because he couldn't show all the background character techniques. Later, his friends lost their last savings, and she hoped that at some point he would be able to show off his remaining background character techniques. Suddenly, Cherry appeared, and she didn't know who she was. She invited him to tea and said that she had seen his impressive fight. Then, she gave him homemade cookies and said that they could start as friends. She was confused and spotted Professor Leather Barnett. He knew that the science teacher had previously won the title of champion at the Boshin Festival. Therefore, she was surprised that he was Cherry's father. After that, she learned that Cherry is dedicated to her research and has no friends. For that reason, Leather asked She to take good care of Cherry, and he just played along. In the evening, Cherry thought about Sheed and planned to visit him in the hospital room. She remembered that Alexia was in a relationship with him and planned to visit her. Meanwhile, Alexia enjoyed delicious sweets and an iced coffee from Starbucks. That's it for today. Stay tuned for part 4 of our The Eminence in Shadow review series. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the vast realms of anime. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more thrilling reviews and discussions. Until next time, keep exploring the boundless wonders of anime with us.